When you go to New York, there's a Catholic church at every corner. You come to Savannah, Georgia, and there's 15, 60 miles between churches.
The parish I went to in New York, across the street from Grand Central, you know, the bulletin would say on a given Sunday, 450 some people came to Mass last week. Many of our parishes have at least 450 people who attend a Mass. And so we've got parishes that are bursting at the seams with 1,000 people at a service, 1,200, some even 1,400 people who are going to Mass.
What we don't have is the infrastructure that would characterize a place like New York. Just a huge Catholic presence, churches on every corner, you know, where you never feel far away from the faith, at least in terms of things you can see or offices you can go to. Richmond, that's different. In Richmond, you know, it's only about 4% Catholic. The entire state is only about 4% Catholic.
Well, I would say, speaking for the Diocese of Savannah, which I have known for 54 years now, that we're on the margins. There's about 3 million plus people in our diocese, but about 80,000 of them only are Catholic, so we're about 3% Catholic. Maybe it's a pity in a way that it's called the Diocese of Savannah, because it's really the Diocese of South Georgia, and it takes in all of South Georgia, all the way over to the Alabama border, and our southern border is Florida. But there's a lot of rural sections to the diocese which have very few Catholics scattered, and where we have our mission churches. Now those small parishes have become kind of semi-big parishes because of the numbers of Hispanics that we have. These parishes are becoming much more viable than they used to be, even though the people who come are of the low socioeconomic area, you know, they're not well off. They've migrated here because of the difficulty of raising a family. They've migrated here looking for jobs, and all that goes with that, which is so difficult, another language in a different place. But we've come to know them as marvelous people, and they've enriched our diocesan family very much.
There are several things unique to El Paso. First of all, we are along the border of Mexico, and even though we're Texas, we're not really part of the rest of Texas. It's not the same culture. We're a very different culture. The fabric of our diocese is different. We have lay ministers who have taken their role, and because of that, our churches are vibrant, they're alive. There's people who see their baptismal call, and they're living out their ministry in many different ways. I do realize now that because of my education at Fordham, because of the experiences with a worldwide Catholic church, the professors there, the history of Fordham and the GSRE were critical for what I do today. Going back to a place like El Paso, we don't have a Catholic university. There's only so many people we have that have master's degrees or an advanced degree in theology or religious education or pastoral studies. So what Extension is allowing us to do right now, especially because of the 3 women in my office who are studying, it's going to give us in 3 or 4 years, 3 lay women in El Paso with a degree who will now go and do who knows what for the church.
Richmond is this huge geographic extension, one diocese, and we've only got 230,000 registered Catholics. In places like Georgia, North Carolina, Arkansas, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, you have this huge presence of Latinos that you never ever had before. It's really in the last 20 years that's happened. And many of them look for the local Catholic Church. You basically have a church that is not at all equipped to be able to serve numbers of Catholics coming into the country. And that's a real challenge, because precisely where most of the Immigration has been a huge part of it since the early 90s, is precisely where the church has historically its least amount of institutional presence. Recent immigrants to the United States from Mexico and Central America, which is where most of our people come from, are from very, very rural areas. And really, the church is the only institution that either they're familiar with or that they trust. They do have an abiding faith in the church. And so we're the first stop for everything. From refuge, you get to accompaniment, and then you get even to advocacy, where you can advocate on behalf of people. We know the system, we know how it works, and we bring our Catholic faith and values to that system, and we accompany people who are completely, very often, disconnected, and we help them through things.
The church is people. The people is church.